Another aspect of our decision making is emotional bias. Often we get attached to a piece of information and feel whether it's good or bad. So let's look at this as an example. A piece of information, piece A, and a piece of information, piece B, we can look at them in comparison by saying piece A, we feel good about it, and piece B, we feel bad about it. So our emotions on the good piece of information, for example, if someone comes up and says, what a great idea to invest in this house, that would be a good piece of information. We would feel good about it. But if somebody came up and said, oh, I don't think your decision to invest in this is a good idea, that would be a bad piece of information. And so our emotions would be attached to whether we felt good or bad about it. So our emotions can impact how we feel about a specific situation, investment, or whatever asset we have, etc. But our belief in those pieces of information often go with our emotions. In other words, when we are told that things are good, that you've picked a great investment, you should feel good about this, we believe the person that's telling us. Without other outside evidence, the natural tendency of many people is when somebody tells you something good, you tend to believe it. When somebody tells you something bad, this is a horrible investment, I would never have done that, we tend to discount it. We tend to not believe it. We want to avoid it. Our tendency is to, or most people's tendency is to avoid that piece of information and shy away from it. So the impact of your emotions on your actual decision making can be quite profound. Well, obviously, people try to take advantage of this. So in sales, in marketing and sales, what they try to do is give you good information that you will believe, and so that you will buy their product or their service. So, for example, an investment product might be provided and saying, you can make a lot of money on this investment. If you can make a lot of money in this investment, that sounds good. We tend to believe them. That's a good thing. We like that. If they came up to you instead of you can make a lot of money, but they said, if you take a lot of risk, you can make a lot of money, we wouldn't feel so good about that. Which is a more realistic point of view. If you take a lot of risk, you can make a lot of money. But that's not really the way they're going to frame it when they talk to you. Most people will say, you can make a lot of money in this investment. Look how good this has performed in the past. They would give you all the positive information so you would feel good about it, so you would believe them. In the opposite case, where it's a bad piece of information, we don't want to accept it, or we want to shy away from it. So they avoid things like, if you take a lot of risk, you can make a lot of money. Well, that's not a great sales pitch, because you'll focus on the negative, the risk portion of it, and you will be inclined to either not do it, which is bad for them, or that you won't believe them. That if you've already have, this is a function of regret sometimes, is that you already have the information, you will discount people that say things that are bad about it, because you don't want to feel the emotion of regret. So in our decision making, we often have emotions that can lead to making bad decisions, because we tend to listen to information that's good or positive and believe it, and discount information that's bad or negative and believe and disbelieve or distrust that, or shy away from it. So when you're thinking about your decision making in your finances, try to separate your emotions from the facts, and not necessarily believe or disbelieve anything that is said. We're trying to get to the facts. The objective analysis is what will give you the best results over time. Having an emotional attachment, and that can influence your beliefs, is a definite emotional bias that if you can overcome that, you can make better financial decisions.